Welcome y'all. In today's tutorial, I want to show you a few of the nodes that are going to be fundamental to creating a valuable n8n workflow, and those are merge, if, and switch nodes. Very powerful. Now we're going to look at the create letter node. Okay, so we're sending a letter to London in this example, and the package ID is L001. Now, in this second letter, we're sending L002 to Tokyo, and we're sending 01 to New York, and this one's got a parcel in the package type. Now, what happens if we want to put all that data together for a future node to reference? The answer is pretty straightforward. We just use a merge node. And these are quite easy to use. Pretty much all there is to them is specifying the number of inputs you need. And as you can see in the output data, we now have all of our packages that are going out. And as you can see here and over here in the output section, we have true branch, one item, because our parcel to New York did actually get marked as fragile. So it's going to send down the true branch. Now the false branch has two items. So we are actually seeing both of these aren't visible again, but because it says two items, we know that our letter to Tokyo is in there. You can see it in the table and JSON views, so we know it's catching the data correctly. Perfect. And you can see here back in the scenario, and you can see here back in the workflow view, there we have a separate true branch for any items that the if node sends down the true branch, and same for the false branch. So if it is fragile, we want to add this instruction for handle with care. Okay, perfect. So it added the handle with care instructions to the New York parcel. Good. And in the false branch, we are using standard handling as the handling instructions. So this is how you would handle adding one of two different variable types, shall we say, to different fields. You can merge them and then pass them through an if node that checks for something that helps the system decide which one it should get, and then just use them as true false branches. So now that we are merging all of our packages once more, look at this. It's all the same, except we now have handling instructions added to them. Good. And now what does the switch node do, and why is it different from an if node? Well, because it has more than two output branches. In fact, it has as many output branches as you'd like. So you can see here we have routing rules. So if the destination is London, it's going to be sent on the first branch. Good. Now, if we want the New York destination, that's going to get sent down the second branch. By the way, you want to notice all these rename output sections, because yes, you can rename the output. Say we wanted to and just use that abbreviation for our output branch. Look at this, execute step and Y, but let's just keep it to New York. Now, if the destination is Tokyo, we want to have a branch for that. So that's catching our letter to Tokyo with a standard handling. And we've also got a default branch. Pretty much any item is going to get passed down to this branch if it does not meet the requirements to get sent down any of our other branches. That's why it is called default. It's nice to have. Now we see another line of edit fields nodes that it is getting sent to based on it is, and that is pretty much just adding the sorting bin column to our data. So we are sending it to the A1 database specific for London. So perfect. Now let's go ahead and execute the whole workflow just to see what final sorted packages does. Now, final sorted packages here is a no operation do nothing node, which means it is going to pass any data that it gets sent. Specifically, look at this. Each one got sent as a separate run, which is why we see this drop down in the output section. Look at this. Here is our letter to London. Here is our parcel to New York. And here is our letter to Tokyo. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed and learned a little something from this lesson on how to handle different data flow strategies in n8n. And with that, be sure to leave a like, share your thoughts with the class, and before you subscribe, make sure you know what you're doing, because it ain't easy being at the top. I'll see you guys next time.